Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. We're going to have a bit of fun now. The two Store-Bought Phalaenopsis, we're going to have a go at seeing if we can find a name for them. And I've got very little to go on. That's the tag that came with them. That's just a generic tag, Phalaenopsis. On the back it's got pretty pictures implying how you should look after it. The only words I've got are Crea Green. That could be anything, but it can't be the name of the plant because it was on both tags in both pots. So let's have a look and see what we can find. The chances of this being successful are practically zero, but we'll have a bit of fun trying. You never know your luck. If you don't try, you never flipping find out, will you? So first thing we'll do is Crea Green. What have we got? Now when you put in some words on Google, if it adds bits on the end, it's trying to be helpful, but in some cases it's not. So the bit that it's added on the end I'm going to take off and stick with my original search, which is Crea Green, and see what we get. What we've actually got right at the top of the list, which is good, is creagreen.com. Let's create green impact. It's a company. Let's go and have a look. Oh, hang on, let's just Google trying to be helpful again. If I want your help, I'll ask. Right, so what have we got then? Ha! Brilliant. What we've got is a company that produces labels by the looks of it. Yeah, they produce labels for practically anything you like, probably just in the plant world, but yeah, they're a label maker, so that's of no use to us whatsoever. Never mind. Right, now on the pots were two sticky labels. One of them had the word Amsterdam on it and the other one had a number 2213, and that's it. That's all I've got. So a word like Amsterdam could be a plant name, could be something to do with a supplier, it could be anything, but it's got to be worth a try. Let's see if I can spell at this time of day. Come on! So it's trying to type sideways here. Right, I've put in Phalaenopsis, which is close, but what Google has done is interpreted my bad typing. I got Amsterdam right, and it's come up with Phalaenopsis Amsterdam and Phalaenopsis anthura Amsterdam. Anthura in capitals with Amsterdam on the end. That's looking quite like a plant name. I think that's a hit. That is just luck. Obviously if that little sticker wasn't on the pot, if Homebase where I got it from had taken those labels off because they didn't know what they were, then I wouldn't have found it. But what we've got here is Phalaenopsis anthura Amsterdam, and it's come up with a company name, Flora Access, indoor plants, and I could order them, and this is looking good because if I ordered that plant it would cost me 6.33 euros. I wouldn't be able to have it because it says it's out of stock, but at that price that's trade. Yeah, so let's open that one up and see what we get. That's it. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy that's a match. I'll put the pop-up of the photo I've taken of the actual plant I've got and stick it there so that it's next to that one. But I'm happy that one is a match. That's good. And we're now on a company website. And it says also available, because you might find the other one. You never know, if this is a wholesale supplier and they get all their plants from the same hybridizer, mass producer, it could have the other one there. So we'll have a look and see what else they've got. They obviously do a lot of job lots, and I've got other things other than orchids mixed in here. What's it say down here? Indoor plants, succulents, arrangements, bromeliads, orchids. Let's select orchids specifically and see what else comes up. They obviously do other things apart from Phalaenopsis. But down on the orchids list I could expand or pre-select Brassias, Cambria, like they still exist, Dendrobium, Miltonia and Phalaenopsis. They've got 87 for sale. Right. Now they obviously sell these in bulk, and you can pre-order like a selection at £4.21 per plant. But I expect you've got to buy hundreds of the flipping things. Let's have a quick look. £4.21 for a Phalaenopsis. Right. This item is sold per 50 plants, so you could get 50 random Phalaenopsis hybrids at £4.21 a plant if you want it. Should we all go into business? Yeah, find some land somewhere, or somebody that's got some spare land. We'll put up a big greenhouse and a sort of hut to do the business in with the tills and stuff, and we'll open an orchid nursery and we'll buy stuff like this and sell Phalaenopsis. Because I bet you anything you like, the likes of, I don't want to be derogatory, but I bet the likes of Lawrence, Hobbs and Burnham's and places like that, this is the sort of place they're buying their plants for, and then they're knocking them out at 20-25 quid. Some money to be made there, isn't there? Anyway, let's get back to where we were, back to the job in hand, see if we can find our second orchid. Not on that page, we can't. Next, what else we got? There's some individual plants shown here, as well as the sort of mixes. Oh, there's a mix there. Little. Oh, that's a specific little Phalaenopsis there. Looks like it's got a name, and they're selling them at £3.58 if you buy a lot. So well, there's one over there for £3.39. Obviously you've got to buy in bulk though, but that's not what we're here for. Nothing on that page. Next, what else we got? No. It's all mixes rather than individuals. There's a couple of individuals there, but not the one we're looking for. So I'm happy that we've found the Phalaenopsis Anthura Amsterdam. Where's it gone now? Oh, it looks like Anthura, whatever that is, that could be an imposed word on a name for a hybrid from the actual mass producer. It could be, because there's lots of them here. There's Anthura Manhattan, Anthura Padova, Sacramento, Washington. So they're obviously using. Oh, that's very clever. This site has managed to realise that I'm using it and come up with live support. Welcome. Can I help you? No, but I'm impressed. Anyway, we found one. Anthura. Trouble is, now I'm on the page, it's not showing. Anyway, we found it. Anthura Amsterdam was here on this page. I'm happy we found that one, but we didn't find the second one. Right, back up to the top then. Let's try that number, 2213. So we just replace that with 2213. This is not going to be successful, I suspect. No. Sorry, just these images here. This one on the left here is called Kensington Violet, and it's on sale in a black ceramic pot for £163.80. I'll have a couple of them. Mind you, it is a beauty. I wouldn't pay that for an orchid under any circumstances, not even if I had the money, because it's a rip-off. Now this says Phalaenopsis-T 2213, and then the actual website address has actually got like a company, products, and let's just have a quick look. Do that in a new tab because I don't want to lose my list. Oh, not even close. See what I mean? What else have we got here? Yeah, it's trying to interpret that number now. There's one down here. That's a flickr.com, so that's somebody else's picture. I doubt if that'll be a hit. No, again, not even close. But that picture does look remarkably like the one that came up before, a sort of pale peachy colour. So we're not going to find it that way. Right, somebody suggested name, magic something. In the comments somebody said it looks like magic something, I've forgotten. Let's put magic in. At the end of the day, Google's very good at adding bits on the end of an incomplete search. So if I just put magic in, it's come up with magic art. That was it. That was what somebody suggested it might be. So let's have a look at that then. Let's get straight onto images. It's close. It's not right, but it's close. Quite close. Let me just pull one of the larger blooms up. I'll explain why it's quite close but not quite right. Right, we've got a larger picture over here now. What we've got here are irregular shaped petals. They've got a lovely curve and not in the bottom, so they're non-symmetrical. That's important. And then what we've got is veining. Yes, my plant's got that. Random spotting, the right colour. Yes, it's got that. The deep purple random stuff on the end of the petals, it's got that. But this one's got quite a distinct white area there. And again on the end of the sepals there's a real stark white area, and that seems quite consistent. If I get another one up, oh, that's a dark coloured one. Where's a better one? That's not a bad one. Yeah, see, this white area is like a distinct V. Mine hasn't got that. Mine's got a much smaller white band. Now that could just be where the cross has been reproduced, but it might not be. I'm just scanning the screen now to see. There it is. I've just here. That's my one. I wonder if I can get that up. If I get this up separately, we can switch between the two. Yep, that's it. That's the one. See, the white area is much smaller. There's no yellow in the lip, or it's very, very faint. Yeah. Veining towards the edge, random spotting, veining on the sepals with a few spots, followed by the white bit, followed by the deep purple. So the deep purple is not so pronounced on this one. There's a bit there. That one hasn't even got any. And if I switch back to the other one, now you can see the difference. The purple on the end of the petals and sepals is very pronounced, and so is that white bit and that white bit, yeah? Whereas on this one, that white bit is very less pronounced. It's still sort of hovering there, but it's less pronounced. Now, when you get to these type of hybrids on Phalaenopsis, every single bloom is different, and every single petal and sepal will be different. You won't find two that are identical. So given that variation, I'm happy with that, but I'm not happy with that. But if the cross was reproduced, that could just be allowing for the variable. It's difficult to say. Difficult to say. But I'm quite happy that that is my plant. Again, I'll put the pop up, yeah, so you can look at the two together. and I'm pretty happy. Given that you have to allow for the variables, different amounts of purple, different amounts of white, veining a little heavier or a little lighter, more spots, more blotches, less blotches, all those are variables on every single bloom. But unfortunately that doesn't have a name. All it does have is a company. Right, we'll open that up and see what we get. What we've got is www.vgorchids.eu, which is obviously a company. That could just be a wholesale outlet, could be anything. We'll have a look. Well, it's an orchid company of sorts. Family run, blah, 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 over the years grown from Phalaenopsis. They've got 73,000 square metres of pot orchids. But they're not going to show us which ones they've got, are they? There's no link on this website to actually look at plants. You've got VG colours. Oh, yuck. Good luck selling them, mate. Assortment. It's just not there, is it? I suspect that's just a blow up of the picture. Yep, that's not a lot of use. We got care. That's not going to have a list of plants, is it? And contact. That may well be just literally that. You contact these people, tell them what you're after, and they'll either get it for you or they'll tell you that they can't or haven't got it or have got it. But they haven't got a list of orchids, so that's not going to get me a name, is it? Not from that direct link. What else I can do? See more? That's just going to put up more images like that one, I suspect. Yeah. Not a lot of luck there. But this is it. It's now at the top of the list because obviously I ventured away from that. So everything else here, Google's found for me, trying to be helpful. And quite honestly, those two are now next to each other. Now you can see the difference and why it's not that one. And that it's highly likely to be that one. But that doesn't give us a name. So unless I can scroll down these images and find something else that goes with that picture that has got a name on it, then we ain't going to get it. Magic art is obviously all over here. So that is obviously a named variety. That's also very popular, and lots of people have taken pictures of it and put it on various places. And the companies who are selling that would obviously have a picture there as well. But that doesn't find us the other one. It's just not there. I'm not going to spend all day doing this because you can if you want. I mean, with something like looking up a coelogeny hybrid, there aren't many. You'd probably get a hit. But when you're looking at something like Phalaenopsis or Dendrobium or Bulbophyllum or something like that, the genus is vast. And, you know, you're probably not going to be lucky. But we've got one. And we found the second one. We just didn't get a name to go with it. And as I said, I'm not spending all afternoon mucking about with this. I get bored doing this so quickly. It's only the fact that the camera's on. I haven't shut down already. I've done this many times. Just fingers crossed and hope. You never know. No, we're venturing miles away from where we were. Right, what we could do now is back up to the top. And we did Phalaenopsis Magic Art, but put the word like in it. Like Magic Art. And that should indicate to Google that I want anything that's similar. Back to images. And that's virtually the same set of pictures we had before. No, I mean virtually all of these are magic art. So not what I want. And over here is our one, the one, that is it. Over here, that's the one. So it's pulled it up as being like magic art. So it's, you know, that's quite clever. And that's the only picture of that Phalaenopsis. I'm not gonna go on forever, but so far that is the only picture of that Phalaenopsis. Apart from the one I own, of course. I got the plant as well. And anybody who went into home base at a similar time may well have the same flipping one. No, I don't think we're going to find it. No. It's doing well with pulling up magic art. Obviously it's working on words as well as images. But yeah, now we're getting away now. We're starting to get all sorts of different colours coming up and various things. I think we've ventured too far away from what Google thinks is a match. I'm just going to have a quick look at that. Just a minute, my phone's going. I'll be back. Sorry about that. No, it's just that had similarities, but it's wrong. It hasn't got the spotting in the right places. So forget that. Not that one. Nope. I don't think we're going to have any luck with the second one. Still, we got one. 1 out of 2 on a Phalaenopsis hybrid's not bad going. And the trouble is they do cycle round. The mass producers will have their latest set of marvellous hybrids for this season, and that's the ones they push. You know, they're produced absolutely spectacularly to go all over the world. So last year's stock they don't want, so they'll often just push them out cheaper, and that's where places like Homebase that want to sell them for £5, that's what they'll buy up, because they're not fussed what exactly they're selling. It doesn't have to be the latest hybrid. They just want to shift some stock and make some money. So what sort of orchid it is doesn't matter to them. So they'll buy up, you know, previous years' stuff that's still around. Nope. That's it. I'm not, as I said, I'm not going to spend all day doing this, but that's just an idea of the sort of things you can try to get a name for your orchid. You might be lucky. You can try putting in a description of your bloom, like, you know, red with white stripes. So Phalaenopsis red with white stripes. If there is such a thing, I'll try it. Red with white stripes. Red with white stripes. The hit rate is virtually 0, because what Google thinks is red with white stripes is, I mean, there's nothing on that screen that's red with white stripes. Nothing. Yeah. So sometimes putting in that sort of thing just doesn't work. It's too complex a search for Google to work with. If you just put in red stripes instead of white stripes, now that's a better match for the words I put in. You know, so it's found quite a lot of Phalaenopsis with red stripes. That's not bad. You could now go through that and, I mean, you know, if you've got that plant, yeah, it's pretty recognisable, as is that. But you're still not getting a name with it. You see what I mean? This is just people's pictures. I mean, that's on Pinterest. Yeah, so you're still not necessarily getting a name. But it's got to be worth a try, hasn't it? You know, and just see what you do. But when you put in a random search like that, Phalaenopsis red stripes, yeah, and you see what comes up, you can then think, if I change that wording to this, I might get a better hit. So you tailor the search depending on the results you see, yeah, and you might be lucky. As far as we're concerned, we've got a name for one, and I found the second one, but we haven't got a name for it. So That will do for me. As I said, I get bored doing this very, very quickly. So we have one named store-bought Phalaenopsis now, and one still unknown. So it's just Phalaenopsis hybrid. I'm all right with that. I like the blooms, you know, that'll do. We'll get on to the Oncidium stuff. I had to go round to home base today to get a spare pair of secateurs so that, because when I'm working in the garden with my daughter and I've only got one set of secateurs, only one of us can be doing that sort of thing at a time. So I've got a spare set so we can both attack different bushes. That was, and while I was there, I thought, right, let's go and have a quick look. They could have had a new delivery and got some Oncidium types in. Because it did suddenly dawn on me, if I get my Oncidium types at this show, I'm going to pay quite a lot of money for them, aren't I? I'm not going to get them at home base prices. But they still only had Phalaenopsis, and I'm not spending hours driving around all the different places around here trying to find some cheap ones, because I'll have spent the difference in fuel, and it's my time. So I'll just put up with whatever I have to pay at the show. And yeah, see you next time. A little bit of fun trying to name that orchid. Partial success.